Welcome to the CD Fitness Podcast, where our mission is to change the way women see themselves in order to show up optimally in all aspects of their life. We aim to improve knowledge, self-love, and the embodiment of the unique self on this earth. We prioritize health and nutrition education as well as coaching to empower women to make healthier decisions to live longer, achieve freedom from diet culture, and create a lifestyle that they truly want to live while supporting one another as a collective whole of badass women. I am your host, Cheryl D. Guzman, and also the founder of CD Fitness, Conscious Diligent Fitness. All right, guys, so this episode is where the silence ends. So growing up, I've always been told to speak up, speak a little louder. I am a soft-spoken person, but I've now decided that silence needs to end. After early last week, after finding out about the devastating murder of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and an outcry of many voices from all different perspectives, I decided that CD Fitness would mute momentarily in order to amplify voices and matters that needed to be prioritized and heard over ours. There's plenty of noise right now. There's a lot of pain and suffering for many in this world. So this was a time for me to step back, process, listen, self-educate, and converse, something that's so hard for me to do sometimes. But this isn't about me. This is about recognizing the fact that we have this opportunity to use our voices and platforms to fight for what we stand for. And it's something that I and CD Fitness cannot take for granted. So I want to make this very clear. CD Fitness stands for solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. Internally, the team has been brainstorming ways in which we can continue to share, amplify, and celebrate the voices of Blacks and people of Indigenous color, while also taking progressive action towards anti-racism from this day and every day moving forward. The silence ends here. I've been conversing with my clients, colleagues, communities, and individuals all around me just to process that this world is so much bigger than us as one singular person. It's bigger than our businesses and our own individual agendas. Although I may personally consider myself a beginner in all the work that still yet needs to be done, I can assure you that I will forever be an ongoing learner. I've always loved to learn. That's one thing I don't hesitate to do is when I'm curious about something, I want to know more, I dive right in. And this is where I'm taking CD Fitness. While the silence ends here, the work has only just begun. And although it's been an internalizing of endless emotions, up and down, mostly down, I'm finding this rejuvenation of energy to a course of study to be revisited. This is not new, ladies and gentlemen. This is a long history of humanity, and it's not a black and white issue. It's not a pointing fingers issue. This is a humanitarian issue. And I recognize that the commitment to this effort will take so much to continue to be a student and also be a leader and an ally for marginalized groups of movements and communities, such as the Black Lives Matter movement, for feminism, LGBTQ pride, and the Me Too movement, and justice for those that are unheard or often silenced. So as we progress through this awakening, this breaking of silence, this year of clarity, and what I was thinking and embodying to myself would be the year of 2020 vision. seeing more clearly. And I didn't think that it would happen this way. No one did. We didn't see the pandemic coming. We didn't realize what an eye-opener it would be to us as a society about the importance of our health, our healthcare systems, our ability to combat the unknown. We didn't know that it would take more innocent lives of Black folks for us to see how terrible these injustices have become, and that they're right here in front of us, not just on the news or on our screens, but it's over 450 years of history in the United States of injustice, and it's now the year. It's becoming really clear. And I thought about this as I was thinking about the vision analogy and how when we go to the eye doctor, we get tested for our vision, and the doctor flips the different lenses and asks us, is it clear? Can you read the next line? Can you read the next letters? And he keeps flipping, or she keeps flipping the lenses until we're able to see more clearly. And we can continue to read the lines that are not as evident, or maybe not as loudly available for us to see. And it takes some time. And it takes those different lenses for us to be able to see different perspectives. So as we continue to listen, we must also continue to voice our truths. Listen with true intention and not just to respond or to defend, and truly empathize. That's what makes us human beings after all. So moving forward, CD Fitness will continue to build a conscious awareness around becoming advocates and leaders for anti-racism. CD Fitness will continue to forge ahead with diligent action and continuing to listen, learn, converse, express, brainstorm, grow, and fight against racism and inequality, especially within this space of health and fitness. It's been a week long of silence on our front in order to reflect. And that was really difficult. There were countless times I wanted to speak out so quickly on behalf of CD Fitness, but at this point, by no means am I uncomfortable nor shy about where this brand stands. This silence ends now. So for all of us who stand in solidarity, let's stand strong among one another in order to reimagine and rebuild this world where Black women and women of color conquer and thrive together instead of having to cry out for their voices to be heard. Instead of having another Breonna Taylor have her life taken in the middle of the night while she's sleeping. So while you're listening to this, and wherever you might be, probably on your own, and we have all thought this before, we feel helpless. I remember, the headlines, the hashtags, all of the instances where just another life and another innocent life was taken, and how I've almost become desensitized to it. And it makes me feel terrible. But I'm not in a place anymore where I have to think that I'm helpless or without power or I'm just one person. What difference can I really make? This is no longer acceptable. Just remember how quickly we were all to post that black tile on our social media feeds on Blackout Tuesday just a few days ago. Imagine and realize how powerful that social influence can be. And we are with it. And we're here to take action, not just for 1 week, but onward. So imagine that power being redistributed. Would then our people of color finally be heard and stood with in solidarity? So if we don't break this silence now, then when, y'all? We have the power to decide. Who are we going to be? What are we going to stand for? How are we going to talk about what makes us uncomfortable? And when are we going to take serious action instead of just sitting here helplessly? How are we going to speak up? Again, it starts with a conscious awareness and it continues and lives on through diligent action. And we must not back down. I want to close up this episode with ways that you can actually help right now. So if you're, again, sitting there wondering, well, that was great. Like, I'm with it. I'm about it. I'm ready to share my voice. I'm ready to take action. What do I do? So here are ways that you can help right now. One, if you have finances, donate to causes that you believe in. Okay, so for example, the George Floyd Memorial Fund, Black Lives Matter, or Campaign Zero are just some examples. There's plenty out there. You can sign a petition for justice in different cases that may not have been heard yet. Sign a petition. There's, again, plenty out there. Change.org for Breonna Taylor is one of them. Register to vote. We know that, again, just because you're one person, that doesn't mean that you can't make a difference. Your vote can elect officials who make big decisions that impact our systems and the way that justice is served in this country. Educate yourself on what it means to be anti-racist, because again, not being a racist is not enough anymore. Not speaking out is not enough anymore. We need to know what it means to be anti-racist, to not make it okay or normal to have racist beliefs or see racist actions play out in front of us. Talk to your friends, your family, and your colleagues about matters in order to foster an informed and safe space for learning and listening. Not everybody thinks the same, or will everyone agree on everything, but it's important to have these conversations so that you can start understanding or start, again, seeing things from different perspectives. Share resources. I talked about your social platforms, social media. There's so many resources out there to help spread awareness and information about what's going on in the world. You can discontinue supporting organizations that perpetuate hate or discrimination. I recently found out about one just this week, again, and who knew, right? Nini's Deli, and I'm not going to go into it all. This was a very well-known Chicago, locally owned restaurant, and at surface level, the owner seemed very nice. But as all of the uproar came to be, and sometimes people's true colors come out. And if you continue to support those organizations, it can continue to be a problem. So that's one way to also help. Be an ally. Okay, this is harder than what it seems like on the surface. Again, it requires the work. It requires an understanding of what it means to be anti-racist and to voice for what's wrong or what's not acceptable anymore. And you can protest peacefully. So again, the media is portraying protests as being violent and riots happening and looting, but there are plenty of protests nationwide in all 50 states right now that are peaceful, that are expressing art, unity, courage, and there is a pandemic still going on. So please be mindful. So if you're not able to protest, again, there's a handful of other ways that you can help and get involved right now. Lastly, I encourage you to continue to support, and if you're able to fund, please do, the initiatives that you truly care about. So it's one thing to talk about it. It's one thing to soak it all in or post on social media. But if something really matters to you or hits home with you, or it's something that you truly deeply care about, it doesn't stop after one action. It doesn't stop after one vote or conversation. We need to keep moving forward and discontinue the silence about these issues. So continue to support those initiatives, stand behind them, stand strong, and we'll continue to keep fighting the good fight. So I'd love to know how you guys are continuing to get involved or stay involved with these movements. It's an unsettling time. It's stressful. It's confusing for many of us, but at the same time, we can use this as a time to re-energize with a different mindset and a different fortitude for being a stronger collective and being better, because we could really do a lot better, and we're going to start today. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.